Hi, everybody. Uh, Beth here with Angel. We're going to be playing Super Mega Lucky Box today. It's going to be an extra chill chat because it's just her and I. Uh, Both Justin and Chelsea are away. Uh, Justin actually had a big stream a few days ago or yesterday, or I don't know. Time kind of doesn't exist for me right now. I just did a 0 hour game jam a couple days ago, and ever since then, time broke and I am no longer part of it. So I don't know how long ago it was, but it was a while ago, uh, or not, with Justin being gone. But Angel and I are both here. Hey, Angel.
Hello.
We're going to be playing Super Mega Lucky Box. It is a very simple to learn, but it has a lot of really cool elements to it, a lot of comboing and stuff going on. We both played this game a bunch of times over the last couple of weeks. And so when we found out we were going to be doing this alone, we were like, yeah, this is going to be perfect. We'll just play this game. And like other weeks, if you want to join in, you are absolutely more than welcome to do so.
Yes, it's a fun game. We hope you'll join in.
Alrighty. So first we had a couple questions that were sent in. These are both anonymously submitted questions, so I'm not hiding who sent them in. I didn't do it myself like I have in weeks before, but somebody sent these in, and it wasn't either of us. I'm going to start with this one here. What is your favorite part of a crowdfunding campaign? This is a very fitting question because we are currently in the first week. Do we just hit a week now, I guess? Of Explosion in the Laboratory being live on BackerKit. In fact, I'm going to find a link to that. Angel, if you want to answer the question.
I think that my favorite part has been just interacting with the community on the page itself. There's a little discussion section there, and we've gotten to know a few people that have backed the campaign or have come by to just talk, and it's really nice getting to know each and every one of them.
Awesome. That's a great answer. I feel like that's my favorite part too. Like the first part when we're actually funding a campaign is always really great. I'm sure that's different for the people that are actually running it and who like are, have to stress about like if they're making enough money or like if they're going to even hit their goals or not. But for us, we just get to chill and talk to people and answer questions.
I know it's awesome that it funded in the first day, so a little bit of that stress went away right away. So that was good.
Yeah, no doubt. That definitely helps. And there weren't any stretch goals this time. The stretch goals this time instead are for every $500 over the initial goal, there's going to be more promo cards added to.
Promo cards are so fun.
Yeah, like a promo pack that's going to be going out to everybody as long as you get physical stuff along with your purchase. So, and yeah, I agree. We've actually both designed some promo cards for Weird Giraffe Games in the past. Nothing official, nothing that's released, just kind of for fun. It's always really fun to just sit down and be like, well, what can we do with this that's like ridiculous and can get shot down or not because it's just so crazy. But like, that's the fun part of designing anyway. So I think my favorite part of campaign is this part right here. And also, whenever the games start going out, people start posting message or comments on the campaign. They're like, "Oh, hey, you know what? Like, I've got a notification from the post office saying that I've got something on the way. Maybe it's this." And then, like a few days later, someone else is like, "Yeah, I just got my copy." And then people just kind of like get really excited about getting it. Like, I love that.
Oh, yes, that's a good part.
Yeah. And with Way Too Many Cats, actually, there was one of the levels was where you got a custom cat. You get like 2 copies of the game and a custom cat card yourself. So everybody that bought or will buy Way Too Many Cats gets this promo card, or not a promo card. It's just a regular basic card in the game that's based on the person's cat. So they like send in photos. They describe their cats. They told us, which toys or whatever they liked, where their cat likes to sleep, if it's on the bed or not on the bed or whatever. And like, we had John, the artist, kind of customize those cards, and then we've been sending them out and getting approval, and that's almost done. But it's just really cool. Like, even if somebody was like, hey, this was really great, but if you could just change this one little thing, and then John just works his magic, and then all of a sudden they're really happy, and it's like, this is great. So that, I think that's really cool too.
That was a really fun part of that campaign, and getting to see all those little cats get made, and emailing them to people and seeing them excited about, the custom cat in there. So that's going to be a really fun part of that. Like actually getting that physically. We have a cat in it actually, and it was a cat that I had as a child that's no longer here, but it's a really great memoriam for it. So I'm going to be really happy to get the game here so I can see the card of ours as well. So if you see wobble gears in the game, that was our kitty.
Yeah, that's right. Those wobble gears. That's right. That's awesome. I just noticed that for some reason my little trans flag doesn't show up in on Twitch. It just looks like a couple little Xboxes, which how dare they? So
yes,
I've got to
indeed
fix that. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull up the super exciting page of Board Game Arena, just sitting there for a while until we're done with the rest of this. While I do that, though, I do have one more question. If you want to answer that one,
okay.
While I'm doing it, we'll be all set. All right, this other question is a little bit more elaborate since it has more to do with us specifically. What is your favorite part of designing for Quirky Bird Games? And actually, I guess, do you want to start off with what Quirky Bird Games is?
So Quirky Bird Games is Beth and myself and Carla. We had decided to make a TTRPG games. It started out as a April Fool's thing. We put out Quirky Birds, and Carla and the team had decided that instead of making another game company, that they were going to set that aside. And when we got to thinking about it, we really loved that game company name and wanted it to be a thing. And we're all Quirky Birds, so we went ahead and made it our TTRPG games group. And we have a Patreon, and subscribers can get in on that, on the games that we make. I think that my favorite part of being a designer for Quirky Birds is being able to make the games with Carla and you. Each month we do a co-design, and I really enjoy that. They're both very, very creative. It's really fun seeing how their minds work and being a part of making those games with them. We also make one of our own as well to go along with the co-design each month, and I think it motivates us all to keep creating. So it's a nice motivation, and it's been a great time so far.
Yeah, I totally agree. Honestly, one of the main reasons I was really happy to do it, and I'd actually been wanting to do a Patreon myself for a while, is just that, like, now you have a reason to continue making games. Like, you have an excuse, not really an excuse necessarily, even like more like you have to, like, you've been charged with this duty to create more every single month. And the way we set it up here is it is really doable. It is 4 games a month, but that basically breaks down to each of us making one, and then we make one as a team, which, like you said, I think that's actually one of the most fun parts, is just that we get to, like, work together once a month on something, and it gives us an excuse. We're actually at the moment we're hoping this month to get a game put out with another person, actually, too. It's going to be 4 of us all together, the 3 of us plus Michelle, who hangs out on our Discord channel. She's a super supportive person in general, but we're working on
and our very first patron.
Yeah, and our very first patron too. What do we call that? The earliest bird, I believe.
Yes.
Because like everything has to have puns. And also we do a weekly update. It's called the Quirky Bird Word, which was named because Rochelle submitted a couple puns for us there. Well, like 6 puns, and obviously we didn't have enough use for 6 things, but we picked a couple of them and used them. We have that, and then whenever the Quirky Bird Word goes out, patrons get to see it for the first 24 hours before anybody else, because we still want to make sure everybody does see what we're up to and everything. So we don't want to completely block anything off. So anything that's like information wise or anything is free, and then Just that one quirky bird word thing weekly is a 24-hour hold for patrons, but we call that the sneak peek instead of sneak peek. So another thing from Rochelle there, because she's awesome.
Yes. So many great puns.
Wow, Explosion in the Laboratory is exactly double. I happen to have that up because I copy pasted the URL for earlier, and yeah, it's exactly double. So that means right now everybody's getting 5 promo cards. With
awesome.
Backing too. It's just kind
I've been keeping an eye out for that number. You
that's
just
awesome.
saw it.
Yeah, and then boom, there you go.
Yay!
I stole that from you, but that's cool.
No, that's okay.
I'll take it. Okay, so we have played this game a bunch over the last, I want to say 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Someone else, and I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this name, but it's how I always say it. Kejele, Kejele, is somebody that hangs out in the Weird Giraffe Games Discord server. She's also really awesome. She is the one that actually got me interested in Board Game Arena in the first place before we started doing this. And she'd always said, hey, if you want to play anything, just let me know, because I have the subscription and I can just add you to whatever. And we played a few games with her since then. I'm terrible about taking my turns. Angel has to remind me. But this was one of the games that she played with us, and it's a great game. It took 2 weeks to play it, I want to say, because I
yes.
not taking my turns, even though when Angel and I play it together, it takes all of 15 minutes tops to play a game of it. But
and just to mention, it is an alpha right now, which means that you do have to be invited by someone else or in the group for Super Mega Lucky Box to actually be able to play this on Board Game Arena. So it is not available in the games list at the moment. It should be soon, but it isn't at the moment.
that's very true.
We can invite you to play tonight if anybody wants to play along, but again, you won't be able to find it in the games list at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And that goes for after the stream too. If you happen to catch us on a recording or whatever, and you want to play the game with us, even if it's not an alpha anymore, just let us know. We'd be happy to. Our usernames are both right there. I am Beth Makes Games. Angel's Unbirthday Angel. We both have perfect scores because we play with each other so much that neither of us are going to report each other. So you'll also see that we both have this player plays from the same IP. I guess another player, it's because we both live together and we are in the same room. So we're always going to have that warning on us. But I think I'm ready to play if you are.
Okay.
I know nobody's around at the moment, but if anybody who's watching this and wants to learn how to play it, or if anybody joins us later, it is super quick, so we'll probably be done at the first game by 8 anyway. If you do happen to join, not that you'll hear this then, but if you do happen to join us later, feel free to learn it. But okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit play.
Yeah, we can always invite them to play another match if someone comes by.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we can even just start another one because we already have one in progress right now anyway, so we can just, if anybody does come by. I want to put that in the chat just in case. If you come by. This is entertaining to hear me talking out when I'm typing. Okay, so this is Super Mega Lucky Box. You start off with 5 cards to choose from. These are different for each player, so it's not like you're drafting them first before anybody else or anything else. At least I think they're different from each player. Is your first box 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9?
No, it's 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, we have different numbers. Okay, hey, cool. You have a lot more stars than me.
Yeah. This game is very random based in that it's well balanced and all, but there are times where there's only 3 sets of numbers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And each card is going to have 2 of one of those sets of numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, so on. And then 1 set of another number. The second set of numbers is always mixed up. So you'll see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. It looks like, at least from what I'm looking at the screen here, that they always mix them up the same way, but I don't know if that's the case or not, because all 3 of these are 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2 for those numbers. On each card, you're going to have numbers or symbols across the right side and the same across the bottom. If it's a number, that means whenever Okay, so first off, if you finish a row or a column, you immediately get that bonus. So if you finish this 1, 2, 3 here on the top row, you'll immediately get to fill in a 6. That has to be exactly a 6. So like if I have this card, this middle card, and this one over here, and I've already used the 1/6, then that's just wasted. You have to skip it.
And this does play bingo style, so what happens is a card turns over, it'll have a number on it, and you'll cross the number off as you go.
Correct, yeah. Exactly. The same thing happens for vertically. There's nothing diagonal, but vertically is the same thing. At bottom, you'll gain either, in my cases, it's either going to be a moon, lightning bolts, either 2 or 1 over here, or a star. The stars basically give you either 1, 4, or 9 points in a round. So if you happen to get a bunch of stars in one round, you're still only getting 9 points at most. And the best way to do this, of course, is to try to get to 3. Because if you just get 1 star per round, you're only getting 4 points total. But if you get 2 in one round, you get 4 points for that one round. Lightning bolts allow you to change numbers. So if a card flips over and let's say it's a 5, and you don't have any 5s at all on your card, if you were to get this 5 on the side, it has to be exact. But if otherwise, you can use that 5 and like 2 lightning bolts to change it into a 3 or a 7. Angel actually found out the other day that if you happen to get like a 1 and the lowest number you have, like you filled in both of these 2 rows and the last thing you have is 7, 8, 9, you can actually spend 1 lightning bolt to flip it all the way around to a 9, and then you can still use it. And the last thing here is the moon. Moons are a lot more important in multiplayer, like 3 plus players. But basically, at the end of the game, whoever has the most moons gets 6 points bonus. Whoever has the least of them gets -6, but that is ignored in a 2-player game. So, like, if Angel beats me on the moons, she'll get 6 points, I'll just get 0. And that doesn't matter how many you win by. So if Angel has 7 moons and I have 1, she will still get only 6 points, and I will get 0. The game is broken up into 4 rounds. So the first one here, we're going to pick 3 cards. And I'm sorry, the question marks here. Question marks allow you to fill in any number that you want. So I personally like those a lot, so you're not stuck with like, oh no, I've used up all the 1s, 2s, and 3s. Now I just literally can't use that number.
Yes.
And it's nice to try to pick, especially the starting cards, where you have a good blend of everything. So like this is 2, 4, 5, 6s, 2, 7, 8, 9s, 2, 3, 1s, 2s, and then I need some moons, so I'll go with. Actually, I'll go this one instead because I also need the lightning bolts. You just hit in this game. You just hit confirm selection, but obviously normally you would just pick the 3. This game is normally played actually on dry erase cards, so you literally just write directly on these cards, and then that's all you got to do. So, for example, if you're playing at home, this first one is a 5. You can change it to a number if you want with lightning bolts, and you start with 4. But it's definitely good to save these for later, just in case you kind of 5.
Yeah, when it starts getting to be a difficult choice what you're playing, or if it's a more strategic reason, like you want to finish that 3rd star in a round.
Yeah, and then that actually brings up another great point in that there are 4 rounds total. At the end of each round, you get a new card. It's going to offer you, I want to say 3 cards to choose from, and you pick one, and then it gets added to whatever cards you currently have. If you fill out a card entirely, you get points based on the current round. So if you finish one in this first round, it's 15 points. The second round is 12, and then 10, and then 8. And then that card's just set aside. For playing in person, I'm sure that helps because you have less cards to look at. For playing it on here, it means that your screen scrolls less, which is also really nice. But,
and then on BGA, it also has up on the top, you see where it tells you the round that you're playing. And it also tells you how many cards are left in the round in the bottom right corner of that card that isn't turned over. So right now we have 7 cards left to play in this round.
Mm-hmm. The second number was 7 here, and the third number is 4. I like too that I usually play on my laptop, really close to Angel, but I'm playing on it's still a laptop, but it's set up against the monitor. So, but it's really nice. I can see your cards right next to mine too, so I can actually see exactly what you're doing. Not that it matters. It's not like I can do anything to Angel, but I can see okay, right now she can get a maximum 3 moons, and I can only get 2. So it's probably wise for me to get more moons my next time.
Right,
So
and
I
I
can try
can
to keep on.
see that you have, an opportunity to get 5 different stars, whereas I only have 2. I'm
Yeah.
not salty about that at all.
No, zero saltiness involved.
Hey, maybe the next round they'll give me more opportunity to pick one.
We've got a
Let's
2 for
see.
this round. One more important thing to note, it's something I actually misunderstood when I was playing it at first. Let's say that I literally could not play this 2. Like, there's nothing I could do at all. Or if you're not paying attention and you're playing this digitally and you just hit finished before you have done it, you don't get anything for it. You don't get any extra lightning bolts. You don't get any kind of bonus whatsoever. You just don't get to play the number at all. So if you are at the end of a round and you're out of lightning bolts and you only have like 4 and 6 left, and a whole bunch of numbers that are not 4s and 6s keep coming up, you're just kind of out. So it's really important to, like Hank said, keep these lightning bolts for when you need them or when they're really handy. Like if you can finish a card in the last round, last turn of a round, or get like the last star you need to get the 9 points, and it's only going to cost you a lightning bolt or 2, it's worth the risk for sure. Risk it
It's
for the biscuit.
yes,
You
it's
gotta keep that going
surprising
with
to me.
Justin not around.
We do. It's surprising to me how strategic something so simple is. You really do have to play things either very safe or even not go for finishing a line until the next round because it's more beneficial for you, or trying to hurry up and finish that card because it's worth more points earlier on. There's just different strategies that can be played throughout.
Yeah, exactly. It is funny too because in general, my strategy is like definitely don't get any stars the first round because stars aren't worth more in earlier rounds, and it's really hard to get 3 of them in the very first round. So I do not want this one. Like no matter what, even if I fill this one in and then another one comes up, I'll change it to a 2 or something instead, so I don't have to worry about that. And then in a future round when I'm close to getting these, so like that is kind of dangerous. Like if you have like I have 2 of these and only need 1 number, and that can really mess me up.
I always call it loading my bases. Exit everything out, but don't quite finish it.
Yeah, exactly. We I forgot to say the number last time, but we had an 8, and then we have another 8. The way that these cards work, by the way, for the physical game, and then this just handles it obviously. But there are the numbers 1 through 9 in this game, which is why you're seeing 1 through 9 on the cards. And there are 2 instances of each number in this 18 card deck, and then we go through half of it. So, like right now, we have 2 8s currently, and we have 2 5s. That means there's 0 chance of another 8 and a 5 coming up. But since we don't have any 1s, 3s, 6s, or 9s, the odds of those coming up are slightly better than the 2, 4, 7 that we've already gotten. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it is nice.
But that's like per round, right?
Per round, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that deck gets shuffled up each time, so it's absolutely possible to not even see a certain number the whole game. It's just really unlucky. And like we could totally see 8s and 5s again next round instead. Okay, this is our last number here, and it's a 9.
I like that you can see the other player's cards when you scroll down. Not every game on BGA does that, so
Yeah,
it's nice to be able to see the rest of the table.
I really like that too.
Now the tough part of picking another card.
Right, yeah, we had so many like the middle numbers, and we had a bunch of the higher numbers. So in a perfect world, we'd be replenishing those right now. Like I have a 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 7, 8, 9. We live with other people, so those noises are not us, we promise. But so like right now, I'd probably want this card, but you see that it has a 9 and a 7 on it. So that means even as I fill it up, I'm going to need to use those on more 9s and 7s, and I don't necessarily want to do that. I personally can, but like in a lot of cases, that wouldn't be true. Let's go. Okay, we got a 5 to start. I've been playing No Man's Sky all day myself personally, so completing these rows and columns is pretty much the most accomplishments I've done all day, aside from like some little quests in No Man's Sky and stuff like that.
It's good to relax sometimes, and
It is, but it feels nice to like finish these lines out. One thing that you'll see if you watch much of this, or if you play the game yourself, or you play it later, is just that like, okay, so I just finished this row and I got a 1. There are games where like I'll hit this 1 and then I'll finish the 6, and then I put the 6 over here and that gives me, another 1. And so you could finish like the other day, Angel and I were playing, and she had like 9 things in a row or something like that.
that was so epic.
It was really epic, and it's cool because this game shows you your current score up here, not including one of the end game, or not including the end game things. So the moons, and then also this here shows like 2x squares equals 1 point. That means that at the end of the game, any cards that are incomplete, you get 1 point for every 2 crossed off squares. So if like this one was the last one in the game and I didn't finish it, I would get 1 point for these 2, and then 1 point for these 2, and then nothing for this one. But everything else shows on the score. So it's just fun to do that and then watch somebody score jump from like 4 to 27 or something ridiculous, like all at once.
Yeah, those chains getting lined up are just really great. That's a very fun aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're using up like all my 1s and 2s now. This is good. Okay, we have 3 turns left. No, okay.
So out of all the games we played on BGA so far, what's been your favorite?
That's a good question. It's hard to say that there's a particular favorite. It depends on the category, I guess, really. I really like this one. I feel like this has the same really quick pace to it and like ease of playing while we're talking and stuff that like Welcome 2 or things like that have, but that this is even quicker. So it's just really nice that like we can just be sitting here watching like only murders in the building, and like playing this without really having to think hard about it. And just enjoy it. And we can just be here like, oh, hey, I won the last 3, and then like you won the next 3, and all that happened within the course of like a few hours tops. So there isn't really like you feel terrible about losing with any.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what it's called, like Little Kingdoms or
Little Factory.
Little Factory, that one is good.
That's the one I like too.
Yeah. You want to talk about that one then?
You can. It's okay.
It's that one's a little heavier, but basically you have you start with like 4 coins or 3 coins depending on who's first. You get different starting money, but then the whole point of that game is that there are like 3 tiers of cards. So you have like, you can spend your money on any of these things, or you can just like produce everything's either production or trading. So you produce one of these basic goods like stones or like wood or whatever, and then you trade those things in generally for something 1 tier higher, but every once in a while you can skip one. So like you trade in a wood and like some kind of food, and you'll get a cow. And then that cow can be traded in for meat or whatever. And then basically you try to bring these things up in value, or you can sell them. You can trade as many of them as you want for their value for something else. So you can produce meat from the cow, or you can produce milk from it and then you don't even lose your card, or you can trade it monetarily for something else. The goal of the game is that you're getting, I'm going to say like 11 points or 10 points, something like that. It's a really low number.
I think it's 12.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds right there. So you're trying to get to 12 points first, and you do that by getting these buildings across the top row, the top tier of trading. And basically the game just and also those buildings, in addition to giving you points, they usually do something extra. So like one of them, instead of using a turn to get milk from a cow, milk from a cow, right? I almost said the milk from a sheep thing. But instead of that, you can just use this building to get it. So you're basically getting like 2 turns at once. And then that happens a lot too. Like you can turn your stone into ore or just things like that. Or other things make it easier to do things. So like it'll cost less or whatever. So it's just this. It's an engine building game, but trading. It just always reminds me of, and I think we both joked about it before, of the episode of The Office where Dwight is trading in like his thumbtack for something better.
Oh yeah, and their yard sale. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The garage sale or the whatever sale. Yeah, it's just basically that gamified. Like you're trying to trade this tiny bit that you start off with to get that value before your opponent does. And I'm finishing a card here, which finishes another row. But yeah, it's very much just like that gamified. I love that feeling. It's just like this one where you combo your turns. That one really lets you combo turns too. And what's really evil about that game is that there's only 4 cards of each tier out. So if I just got a cow so that I could grab the milk that was out in there, out on that row, so that I can use that milk to get something else, and Angel's just like, I'm just going to buy the milk because I have a bunch of value. It is a very good chance that I won't even see milk again for 6, 7, 8 turns, however many. So I can imagine how frustrating that'd be in a like 3+ player game.
Yes.
It's with 2, it's not too terrible, but
it's got major drats foiled again. Like
exactly.
Vibes.
It really does. Like just over and over again. Like dang it! Like I was this close to that, and then if I did that, then I would have gotten the building that I needed, and I would have won the game. But you stopped me.
You got a lot of that whining from me. Like, hey, I was going to do this. You ruined everything.
It is nice though that the game also does allow you to just trade. Like I keep using the wrong terms because you're trading cards, but you're also I think that's considered trading too when you trade for value. But if let's say I needed 4 specific things to get a really big building. Instead of doing that, I could just go, hey, you know what? That thing's worth 20 gold. I'll just trade 20 gold worth of stuff. And then the fact that Angel just got 3 of those 4 things last turn doesn't even matter because I got it first. Yes. But sometimes that happens and an even better building comes out. You never know. So
these 9s are killing me.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, at least they're both gone now.
Mm-hmm.
I got a few combos going. Currently, I have 3 stars, and so I get 9 points for that. But if I were to fill in this 6 for this 6 right here, those are an absolute waste, and it's not cool at all. So that makes me sad.
So wait for it. Moment.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Wait for it. I'm getting nervous about these low numbers, though, because I only have a 3 left out of the 1, 2, 3 after this 2.
Yeah, I'm out of lightning bolts now.
Oh, no. I have 5 of them, but...
Must be nice.
Yeah, well, unless I get some 1s, 2s, and 3s on a card next round, I'm in trouble anyway, so...
And I am wasting a bonus move because I don't have a 1.
Oh no.
Womp womp.
But yeah, for anybody watching later, you'll notice that it's just after 8 right now, and we're almost to the 4th round. And that's been with some breaks and explaining it and talking about things and stuff. So it is an incredibly quick game. It's just really nice to I used to think I was a really heavy gamer. I kind of grew up with like JRPGs and like if it wasn't 80 hours long, I didn't care. And then that kind of extended into tabletop games where like I want to play a game that's going to last me like an hour or 2, and it just feels like the less time we have, the more we're doing, the nicer it is to just be able to pull a game out and be like, yep, cool, we played 3 times in an hour. Happy now.
Yeah, I think that it really depends on the game as well. I think that if it's going to be a longer game, the setup has to be worth it, and it's kind of the length of the game has to be worth the amount of setup and put it back and scoring time. Like it just depends on the balance of that as well. Like, it's nice to have some quicker games and stuff, and it is nicer to have the strategy games, but it just depends on the time and brain space you've got at the moment, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have not played as much Sleeping Gods or Stardew Valley, the tabletop game, as I think either of us would like because of that reason, just how much, you set up Sleeping Gods. The one time we played it, we seriously played through one whole, if for anyone not familiar with that, it's an open world kind of game that you're definitely not going to finish in one play. Once you finish one, you reset it, but you remember where stuff is, and you remember like what you needed in different places, what happens when you do certain things all over the place. So it's very much like you play again, you're unlocking different things. But yeah, we played through that one full session of it, and it took, I want to say 9 hours or so.
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking 8 or 9.
Yeah, and
we enjoyed it, but
yeah, it was great. And I know some of that time, if we did it again, it would probably be like 7.5 to 8, really, just because.
Yeah, it took us a while to learn it, and we had to, punch out the game and all that stuff too. So that does count into that as well.
Yeah, but it's like, if you do stop in the middle of a game, I think there's 3 rounds of it, basically, something like that. I don't remember exactly how it works, but
it's been a while since we played it.
Yeah, but if you were to stop in the middle, you've got to save everything where it is, and then you've got to remember where it was, and you're going to have to remember, like, oh, you know what, I was headed for this, totem thing over here, so I really needed to make sure we did this thing first, and then go over there. So it's just a lot of, like, it'd be like stopping a video game in the middle of a, point and click adventure kind of thing. So, like, I forgot I got to do this and this and this and this and this, and then I can go over there.
Yeah, we're a big fan of a lot of the games from that publishing company anyway, but their games are a bit of table hogs, and we only have a small table. So we end up piling half of the things on the, we have our table set up by the couch and then line things up on our couch too. But we make it work.
We do, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to shamelessly plug the fact that we work for Weird Giraffe Games, in that that's one of the nice things about Carla's games is that they do not take up a lot of space.
I agree. And they don't take long to learn, and they are fun to play with different player counts for different reasons. I think that that's intriguing. That you kind of have a little bit of a different experience depending if you play with 2 players or 3 or 4. And I think that that's kind of a unique thing for that company as well.
Yeah, definitely. Very weird of them. And weird of us. You can say us instead. That's fun. Yeah, this last round is usually the most chaotic because we are finishing up a bunch of cards. There's a lot of combos going on. Angel, I see you've got 4 lightning bolts now, so at least you're not completely stuck with the game. This right here, it's happened a couple times while we were talking, but this is a great example of the sadness of finishing a card up really late. And you see that this 1 and this 9 are both lit up on my card. I can't use either of them because I only have 4s, 5s, and 6s left. So I just have to hit finish and confirm that I'm not using my bonuses and be really sad about it.
That was happening to me at the end of the last round too. It's really nice that you end up getting a new card each round. It really is a good addition to it, because otherwise it would be a struggle.
Yeah, and if you had all the cards at once, like at the beginning, it would just be really confusing as to, like, you wouldn't know what you're going to run out of early, so, like, all of a sudden you just don't have any 4s, 5s, 6s for, like, 3 rounds.
Right, you'd have to have a really entirely different strategy, as in, kind of worrying about what you need to conserve.
Absolutely. It's also interesting that depending on what you grab here, like I currently have like a 7, 9, 8, 2, 1 on one of the cards. Depending on which of these cards you grab, and if you time them out right, you can absolutely finish all of your cards and not win because somebody else got a bunch of stars or a bunch of moons and you didn't, things like that.
You kicked my booty.
I did. I won that one. I will take it.
I will whine about the fact that like I wasn't given the opportunity to have any cards with stars on them, but I did get all of the stars that I possibly could. There was 4, and I did get them.
Oh
But
wow.
that's all there was in any of the cards that I could pick.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like, obviously, no game's perfect, and this is one of the examples of what like a luck-based game, like with a lot of randomness, has in it. Um,
Right.
I won by 10, and 8 of it came from just the stars. Um, we both completed this. Like, we both got the same number of points from our lucky boxes. Um, you used more lightning bolts than I did, like that kind of thing, or you gained more of it.
Oh,
So
I knew
it
there
is.
was some games where I really wasn't even offered 1, 2, 3. It's like just the randomness of those
Yeah,
cards really make or break your strategy in playing, because it is really luck based. But there is a lot of strategy there too, and depending on how you use those numbers, you can use them a little bit more conservatively and make it so that it works out. But you can only do so much for the bonus points if you don't get those moons or those stars.
exactly. Yeah, and it's sometimes that is exactly it. You either it's fun when you have to decide between like, do I like go for 2 more stars, but then I have to worry about if I don't have enough, because I'm not getting the 1, 2, 3 that I wanted, so I'm risking that. But it's less fun when it's like none of these have the 1, 2, 3 that I want on them, and there's only 1 star on one of these cards. So I guess I'm going with the one that has 1 on it because that's the best I can do. And I already have like all my other cards have moons on them, and I'm like 7 moons ahead already. So there's no point in going for those.
Oh,
So,
I have no stars again, 0 to choose from.
oh wow, I have one card has 3, one has 1, another one has 1. Um,
Nice. I have some moons. Like a few of the cards have moons on them, so I have that. But
hmm. This card is a good example too of this middle one I have. It's 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, but it has the middle row does not have a bonus on the side. That's because the top and bottom ones both have these question marks, which let you fill in anything you want. So they, I guess, are like, that's a little overpowered. We're going to take one of them away from you. So kind of annoying to get that in the first round because then this middle row is worthless. But I'm going for it because I like filling in any number and not really what that is.
I'm taking too long picking my cards. I'm like, which one of these do I want?
I'm still picking 2 because literally every single one of my cards has 1, 2, 3 on it twice. So
Yeah, these are a little bit like oddly dispersed, so I'm trying to make sure I get enough.
yeah, I would say this is the kind of thing where if you were playing it physically, and okay, so one thing that we've both heard quite a bit, and why they warn you kind of about that, is that Board Game Arena is supposed to be promoting you to actually, hey, I like this game, I'm going to go buy it, and I totally get that. That's cool. Um, so one of the things I would think of here, Angel and I, and I'm sure we're not the only ones that do this, we both very much come up with like variants on things. Um, so like if we were to get this and we play it, we're playing physically, we'd probably just be like, you know what, we each get to draw 1 extra card because this sucks. And like, neither one of us wants to win because the other person got unlucky. So
We've actually done that for the Fallout shelter quite a
yeah,
bit. There is a kind of a row of cards that you can pick where you get to buy rooms, and that's how you're building your shelter. And sometimes those rooms just are not cohesive to the beginning of a game. Like they're not really going to benefit you at all through that. So we end up passing on some of those. It's kind of a house rule that, okay, we both agree that these are terrible. We're reshuffling this and starting over.
exactly. Yeah, that game is another one that I think there's like 2 basically of every room or something very similar. So like if you're familiar with Fallout, there's a fly in here. I'm not waving at anybody. But it's based on the video game Fallout Shelter, which is based on video game Fallout, or the video game series Fallout. But basically, you're building your own Fallout shelter, hence the name Fallout Shelter, and you. It's a worker placement game, so each of these rooms does something different. give you different resources or whatever. One of the things that we both do very quickly in the game is get all of our workers. You buy them with either food or water or whatever. Um, and so one of the rooms, two of the rooms actually, I think we got rid of one of the cards, but they help you get workers easier if you build the room. Like one of them's like a radio station, so you're basically like calling out to people in the wasteland, like, hey, come on over here, like that kind of thing. Which, I mean, if anybody's played a Fallout video game, like the radio is the best thing anyway. So like radio station or radio room is perfect anyway. But if you get that room to come out halfway through the game when both of us have all our workers, it's absolutely worthless. Like it doesn't do anything else good at all. And it just sits there taking up one slot. You can reset the room row, but there's only one room in the whole game that does it. You have to buy that room, you have to use that room, and then, basically it's kind of like one person's taking one for the home team by resetting it.
Yeah.
So we just go with the stipulation that, hey,
and sometimes
we can just reset it. Cool.
That doesn't even come up the whole game, so
Yeah, exactly. You only see maybe like a third of that deck, especially in a 2-player game, since we play everything 2-player together. We're not going to see most of the rooms anyway, so we just kind of got rid of some of the duplicates. We set them under, we didn't like literally throw them out. We just set them aside. Neither one of us is going to. We feel bad about getting rid of a box that like.
Oh goodness, you should see us trying to play an exit game. That tortures me. I'm like, okay, I know this is like a one-time experience, but do we have to hurt the components? Can't I give this to somebody later? It's like, nope,
exactly.
Cannot.
Exactly. It's
destroy the thing and finish the puzzle and suck it up.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting lesson in learning to be okay with that.
Well, and appreciating it for the experience that it is, instead of, thinking, okay, these are these components for this game. And because you kind of are like, okay, don't drink anything near the card table while you're playing, or, don't eat food and then touch my board game components. But then this is like, rip it up, you know?
Yeah, you literally can't complete this without ripping it. So have fun with it. And you're, of course, going to do everything in your power not to rip it. Because
we totally
like, what if I rip it and I broke it?
Yeah. We completely photocopied something and like drew on it, like to figure out if we could kind of get, it would not line up right, and we had to damage the thing. Mm-hmm. We tried though. We tried our best.
Yeah, we still have it all together, like in the closet, like just in case somebody else ever wants it. Like, I think we were talking about like maybe sending it to my mom or something.
Hey, you know what I saw on a Facebook group is they actually made a shadow box with it, with one of the exit games. It was a Lord of the Ring one, and they had it all set up in the shadow box with all the game components. And I'm like, what a brilliant idea that you kind of memorialize the game you played, and it's like a decoration in your game room now. It's like, okay, brilliant.
That is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you're really crafty, so you could probably just like whip that together anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was Amanda on Twitter. She said that she'd played that one, the Lord of the Rings one, and I asked about it because, Lord of the Rings is cool. And whether it was her or not, whoever it was, said that it's basically, I guess if you've played enough exit games, you basically know what you're in for with them. And so, like, obviously the puzzles are going to at least be somewhat different, but she had played a bunch of them, so it wasn't as awesome of an experience as possible. So, well, that works for us because we played one. So, we'll just have to make sure that we pick and choose which exit games we play, and then we can really, like, enjoy those rather than just buying every single one of them.
I like the adventure games. Is that what it's called? The one, yeah, those are pretty cool to me. Just that you kind of get to turn cards over and affect what you're doing in different ways. And they've really made a smaller game quite clever in its mechanics. I enjoyed that. We need to get more of those.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat too. And it was really funny because like half of that game, like we were just like, did we really get everything? Are we done? And it's like, like,
we're such completionists.
Yeah, exactly. Even in tabletop games, like that Fallout Shelter game, that game could end one of two ways. Either when you've built all 6 rooms on your floor, because each player has their own floor that you build on, or when the threat deck runs out each round. For each floor that there's buildings on or rooms in, you roll these 2 6-sided dice, and then as long as it's not a 7 or there isn't already a threat in that room, you add one there. And whenever that deck runs out, the game ends. And we always make sure that we don't end it early unless one of us knows we're going to win for sure, which has happened maybe 1 out of like 20 times. So,
oh yeah.
Or what's that one?
I have to cycle through the whole item deck before we can hear it out.
You do usually own like 80% of the items, and then I wonder how you want to throw the items. But and I usually try to stop you when it doesn't matter. You're like, nope, I got them. It's cool. It was Near and Far, another game by Red Raven Games, who made Sleeping Gods. But that one is another one that basically that one ends when you want it to end. You run out of camps, and there are a bunch of activities that require a camp. So if you're down to 1 camp left, there's probably some fancier name for it, but whatever. When you run out of those, the game ends. So if you're down to 1, you either have to. Oh, geez, that was the end of that round. I'm doing
See, I just got to get you talking, and then
yeah, there you go. That game ends when you run a camp. So if you're down to 1, there's a lot of activities you can't do, but you can still do a lot of things. Like you can still get more items. You can still like scavenge for stuff, and then buy even more items to give you more points at the end of the game. So there are a lot of times where one of the 2 of us will spend like literally like 20 turns or so just like exploring or getting more items or whatever, and then we're like, okay, fine, we're done. So
like, all right, I guess we'll end the game.
Yeah, so
we talk about games being too long, and then we talk about making them longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Just depends on what mood we're in, I guess.
Yeah, in fact, it was funny because we have been developing for Weird Giraffe Games an expansion to Tumbletown, and one of the things that I said was that like the way we play it, the game always feels like it's over just a little too soon for us. So one of the things that, and this obviously this isn't, it's a work in progress. Carla's the one designing it. We're just developing with her, so she has the right to change any of the stuff between now and whenever it releases. But one of the things that is different is that it does allow the game to be a little longer, just a little bit. I want to say like 1 or 2 turns per player, not like, this isn't going to turn a half-an-hour game into an hour or anything. It's just a couple more turns, which with an engine builder is really cool anyway. So like now you're going to have a couple more turns.
Yeah, I really liked that did extend that. I was happy with that.
Yeah, and it was really cool too that like this was the first thing we were developing for anybody, and we were developing with Carla. But one of the first things we'd said was that kind of we liked the idea of it being a little longer, and she was like, "Cool, let's do that." And she wasn't like I don't know about that or anything else. And
or we play tested this extensively, and this is the amount of time it should be. It wasn't that. She just was like, "Let's try this,"
Exactly, and that's the thing too. Like even when we played it, that was the first thing she asked. She's like, does it feel too long now? Does it still not feel long enough? Like, what did you think of that? And I think we both really liked the couple extra turns because it's really interesting. Tumbletown is a game where you literally roll dice and then use those dice to build things, and then when you build them, you put them on this. It's a card maybe like this long. You get 2 rows of buildings on it, and you literally put the dice on there to represent the buildings, and you get bonus points if they're placed in the right places. If there's like a single like alley space between buildings that are constructed, and so having these extra turns actually makes it a little harder to make that street perfect too. So it's really interesting that with the extra turns, you're able to do more on a turn. You can, change numbers more. You can get more dice, just things like that. But you're going to have a lot less chance to get those bonus points at the end. So you're kind of like trading that off. It's an interesting little it's really cool. Carla's Angel actually mentioned that at one point. But she's just really good at we'll send a couple thoughts her way, or even just ideas of her own. Like, hey, what if we did this thing? And whenever she sees that email, she'll within a day or 2 or whatever, she'll just be like, hey, you know what? Here, try this. And she sends it so fast that there's no way she could have play tested yet or anything. She's just sending it to us to try it out, and it works really well. It's like, okay, that was actually really cool. That's brilliant. Great. That is not what we suggested exactly. And it works better than what I came up with. So, this is great. I tell people that I think I like developing more than designing because it's like, like everybody jokes about how like everybody has ideas and, like literally anybody can come up with ideas for things. But developing a game really feels like you're just an idea person. Like you don't have to, strategize these things out. You don't have to be the one to balance things. Hey, what about this thing? And then here you go.
Yeah, it's been a really fun experience. I think that just seeing that side of it and just how many people it does take to, balance something, whether it just be everyone reading over rule books or everybody working on different aspects of it. It's just been a great experience these last several months, even seeing the backside of, creating games.
It really has. Yeah, I really like that too. It's feels like it's been a weird journey here.
Yeah.
Because like seriously, I just started, and then we both made games together for the 18 card contest. It was basically like I think it was the second game I ever made. I think that the Let 'Em Dare came before that, where we made McIsaac. I'm not sure, um, but we made games for that. And we made 7 of them for that within like a month. A lot of those games I hesitate to call games because I was like, hey, what if we do this thing? And then it really didn't work. But back then, my brain was like, hey, whatever. Maybe as a publisher, she'll just love this super mega basic idea so much that she'll run with it and it'll win anyway. Who knows? And in hindsight, obviously, that's not the best idea. If you are a designer, please do not send in all of your ideas thinking that they're the best things ever. Obviously, there are some great ideas, but like if you spend 5 minutes on something, like, yes,
it isn't the greatest idea ever.
Yeah, exactly. But we started off doing that, and then we hung out in her Discord channel, Weird Raptor Discord channel, a Discord server. I'm sorry, Weird Raptor Discord server, and then she would ask for help with her blog. She has a blog. I think she's getting back to it soon, but she has a blog that she does, and she would like interview people or just talk about different topics, things like that. And I would just go through and edit it. I used to edit stuff anyway, so it was like I actually enjoy editing. I just thought it was cool. And then after a little while, she was like, hey, I could use someone for customer service, and I helped her out with that. And then a little bit later, Angel had been helping me out. At that point, even sometimes, because Angel would just be like, hey, you know what, like, I can help you with something. Is there something I can do to help out? Because back then I had 2 jobs, and she was just really helpful. I mean, Angel's helpful anyway. She's been actually handling everything today because I haven't been working. I've been playing No Man's Sky. But I told Carla about her helping me out because we did it without permission, just, counted it as my stuff. And then she was like, yeah, actually, if Angel wants to do stuff, that would be fantastic. So Angel's been working here too. In fact, she does completely separate stuff from what I do.
Yes.
And then we both kind of do some of the stuff together. Like if you are somebody who has reviewed or streamed or done a video on a Weird Giraffe Games game, Angel is almost certainly the one who has watched it, gotten quotes from it and stuff. And then up until recently, I was the one putting it on there, but Angel even does that now too. Puts it on the website, puts it wherever it needs to go. And then we moved into developing with her too. Like we've been developing a couple of the expansions with her. And
she's given us a lot of opportunities. It's really great.
Yeah.
It's a good team. Finishing some of my cards off here. Yay!
Yeah, I think you're going to obliterate me this game. I'm trying, but...
You got more stars than me. I got some more cards, though, luckily, this last round.
Oh, yeah, you're down to 2. Wow, you're down to, like, 1 card after this time.
Yeah.
Jeez. But this is the last one, and you're not going to be able to fill out more than 1, so...
Nope.
Okay. This is the magic of the numbers wrapping around. I have 9 lightning bolt, 10 lightning bolts anyway. I could make this number anything I want. It really matter. But I'm gonna turn a 7 into a 1. I get my second star and a question mark, and then I'll use that to finish the 7, which
You could
finishes.
finish off this card, couldn't you? The second card, and
Yeah,
get that star.
that's what I'm getting here. I got the
Oh, I
7,
see
which
the
gives
one.
me a
Okay,
1. Yeah, and then I get the 1 out of that. So,
awesome.
yeah.
You're one
That's
step ahead of me there.
that's the second. No, this time I only got 2 stars. The last round I got all 3 of those stars in 1 turn. What was that last game? One of the games I got all 3 stars in 1 turn, and then this one I got 2 of the stars in 1 turn. So. Also, don't pull a Beth and like sit here with the like confirmed turn for like an hour, wondering why nobody's taking their turns because
I just did that too. Sorry. I
Oh,
was
you're
like,
fine.
oh wait, I pulled a Beth. I didn't hit finish.
That's awesome.
Oopsies. This is such a nice way of you reminding me of that.
Oh yeah, well you're welcome then. And you beat me that time by 7.
Yay.
We should have enough time to play one more. One of the cool things about it just being us tonight too is that we can just be like, yeah, let's play again, whatever.
Yeah. I guess if someone swings by and watches the video afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Plus it's just fun.
Yeah.
I have been on a depressive spiral for a while here. Like I had one 3 weeks ago. I just got out of one that started a little over a week ago, and then today I was kind of fighting it off a little bit. So we just decided, hey, you know what? Like, let's just take some time off. I was going to play No Man's Sky one day, and then we're going to play board games together the other day. We're originally going to play the board games today, but part of me was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to enjoy them more if I chilled beforehand. I don't know why that's the case, and I don't know if anyone here can relate, but like, for some reason, sometimes playing board games doesn't count as chilling. Like, it's just weird. Wow, I have no. Yeah, I have 1, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I think it depends on what kind of game you pick as well. Like, sometimes I do feel like, you have so much brain burniness going on that it just ends up being like, okay, it's time to relax now because that was work.
It was. Yeah, we if anything that's a really difficult cooperative game or something that takes a lot of, like you said, brain power, either something like a heavy Euro or like just even something like Gloomhaven, where we got to make sure we do these 7 different things each turn, and if you don't play right, like play the best you can, like there's a good chance you're gonna have to redo this whole thing. So there's that stress of like, do I rest now? Do I rest next turn? Like, is Beth gonna run around and pick up all the treasure and waste 3 turns before we do this? Like,
is Angel gonna leave Roy Jenkins and run into 3 rooms?
Yeah,
and have all the bad guys running after us?
Yeah. But hey, whatever, we do that, and then that means that when we have to replay it, then we know what's in those rooms, and we can pick that. So.
That's the reason I do it.
Yeah. You're just getting the literal experience instead of the in-game experience. But yeah, so it worked out playing that game today, and then tomorrow we're going to play some board games.
It's been a while, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks since we took a day off.
I should look at our list of games and come up with what we're going to play instead of spending 2 hours trying to figure that out tomorrow.
That's a good point. We should. Angel was awesome enough to make a list of all the games we haven't played yet. So we have a digital shuffle shame, not just a physical one.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It's quite big too.
It is. So many like game sales and like all kinds of other stuff going on. And then it's like, a lot of times day rolls around and it's like, let's just play Hero, or let's just play, like some more Forgotten Tales or something, just want to finish that. Or I really want to, actually, what would really be cool, not tomorrow, because it's a solo thing, but we should definitely try out Rachel Harold Selene. I can't remember exactly what the name is, so that's not me mispronouncing it, as I can't remember it. But Rachel is somebody who runs these monthly Fire in the Library challenges, and she just brought them back. Basically, you play Fire in the Library solo, and you record your scores on Board Game Geek, and then whoever has the best 2 scores total, like wins some Geek Gold, some, just general pride stuff going on. So it'd be cool to try that out and see what we can do score-wise.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I do enjoy those challenges, and some of the stories that are written for the lore kind of thing are interesting. Very creative.
Yeah, Rachel does a cool job with that. Like, she actually came up with her own promo card. It's not an official one, but I have unofficially nudged the Weird Giraffe Games team to like, see if we can make like one of her cards official because like she's just done a lot.
That would be really fun. Those cards
Yeah,
were cool.
yeah, and like one of them, she even based like this challenge's story around. I can't remember whose ghost it is. It's somebody's ghost. Um, but it's basically a card, and
I feel like it was like a E, like Edna or something like that. Like
yeah, that sounds about right. And for anybody, if anybody happens to come back and watch this, like I just like the fact that they can even remember this happened in the first place is pretty cool. Let alone like I have a terrible memory, not for any reason like that. But yeah, my memory's terrible. So there's no disrespect meant. She's awesome. In fact, you can find the challenge on Board Game Geek, or
that's actually what I was just going to do.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, awesome.
Was to go to our campaign and find it because I think we posted about it on there.
Yeah, I threw that on.
Harold Selenay was the screen name, I think, and then.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, go for it.
Esther's ghost card.
You were right about the though.
And then I have the link here. I'm actually not.
You can Facebook it to me.
Yeah, I'm sending it by Messenger for you because I'd have to either do that or Messenger it to myself and then put it on Twitch on my phone.
Oh, no. Yeah, no problem.
There we go.
But yeah, for those not familiar, while I'm pulling this link here, Board Game Geek is the name of the place this is, but Backer Kit is where the Explosion Laboratory campaign is running right now. And unlike Kickstarter, there are like discussions there that are almost like a miniature forum. So there's actually like a discussion about that challenge there. I did throw the link into chat. It's a little long, so I am throwing it on the screen. But that's the link there. But again, if you just go to the Backer Kit for Explosion in the Laboratory, you'll find it there too. So. And I haven't taken my turn yet. So
no, I haven't either. So yeah.
Hey, that works. Yeah. Okay, we both finished at the same time too. That's funny. It's a really exciting game with 1-0 on the score. So but that's how you know, like later on, if it's going to be like some like really big rounds, and stuff will happen then. Actually, that's not true. Yeah, let's go. And this fly is being really annoying. It was landed right on my lip.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
Stop being an intrusive, fly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no.
That's what's funny about playing strategy games on stream is just like the amount of quiet thinking you do is not very entertaining.
Right, exactly. Whereas this one, I can just like talk all day and like it doesn't even matter. That was wild. Like 2 days ago during that 0 hour jam, like the 0 hour jam ran between 2 a.m. and 2 a.m. It was when the clock got set back, so it was technically an hour, but it was also technically 0 hours. But it was my first time doing a solo stream, and I am somebody who, like, in real life, like, will maybe say, like, 100 words tops in a day. Like, in little short bursts of speaking, I'm not one who talks
I can attest to that. You're very quiet.
But during that stream, I somehow managed to go, like, 2 hours without not talking the whole time. I don't know where that came from. Thank you.
That's probably the most I've ever heard you talk in the time that I've known you.
Yeah, it was
Like
wild.
combined.
Yeah, my throat even hurt. Like it was just like,
Oh,
yeah, luckily the next day I was fine, but like, yeah, that was definitely an experience.
and you managed to make a game while you
Yeah,
were doing all that.
that's true.
Quite impressive.
I've got to get that game finished because I made it, but
You know, we're
it
gonna look back
definitely
over it
needs.
like, what even was this? Just
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
that's what's gonna make it so meta that, you
Yeah,
know, the challenge topic was kind of to interpret what you wrote in the middle of the night. Like you thought of something, you wrote it down, and then the next day you're trying to look at this note and figure out what you meant by it, like whether it was for a dream or, you know, a thought you had before you went to sleep. And it was very fitting for the time of night it was, and
hmm
for the challenge itself. So it was, Rochelle came up with a really good actual topic for you to make the game of.
she did. Yeah, that was a perfect theme, and yeah, it was extremely fitting. I probably made that a joke about that like 10 times because like it really did. It felt like that. Like oh no, like just fly. Jeez. It really felt like that, and like yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna come back to that thinking that. But it was funny too because I woke up the next morning and I was like, it'd really be cool if I did these other things. So um, like
I just
things like
finished 3 cards, by the way.
oh geez, yeah, you're on the two. Um, I had some ideas, and I think I might stream finishing it since it started on a stream. But I'm gonna come up with all the ideas and figure out what I'm gonna do beforehand because it's really hard to think while you're like talking a lot.
Yeah.
And so that way I can just do the stream and be like, okay, this is what I thought of. Like, let's finish this.
Like, let's actually make this game now and not just like write it out,
Yeah,
write out the
exactly.
whole premise.
Right,
Like, let's make
exactly.
this look pretty and like workable,
Yes, exactly that.
and isn't just a whole solid sheet of words. That's tough. Like getting a 1-page game to not just be all words.
It is, yeah. Especially like there are some games where, or some designs where it's just very much like, oh, like there's this super fitting art. This is super easy, and then there are other ones where it's like, what am I gonna do, like layout wise for a note that you wrote in the middle of the night? Like, I don't want to just. Well, I guess like maybe you could just do like a bunch of like post-it notes around the around the outside. I don't know,
There you
but
go.
yeah. See, there you go. We're talking and coming up with it now too. So
Yeah, you need to
same thing.
make it look like a nightstand with a like an alarm clock on it and like a little post-it note.
That would be awesome. In fact, I wonder if like, because it's not really that much text for the game, and I was going to do it like front and back because I was going to add some more to it. But I wonder if you could do front and back and like actually have like this on a long piece of paper that's on a nightstand, so it looks like the game is the note.
Ah, yeah, that would be cool.
Maybe be a really long note right in the middle of the night, but still,
True. Hey, and then if the game is nonsensical, it would just make sense because you wrote it in the middle of the night.
right? Exactly. Boom.
I want this card because it has 2 stars on it, but I don't need the 4, 5, 6s, so I guess I'll take this one.
Yeah, I've got a problem where I really want this 1, 2, 3, like 4, 5, 6, 6, 4, 5, because it has 3 stars on it, and I don't have any right now that I can use. But it has 7, 8, 9 across the side, and I only have one of each of those. So, well, I have 2 9s. So it's like, if I do that, I'm gonna run out of those. And I already have an 8 that I need to use from one of these. Oh, and I have a 7, 9, 8 on another card. Yeah, this is worthless. I guess we'll put this one. Well, let's finish this card off then.
Last round. 8 turns to make something work here.
Yeah.
Now 7. They're ticking down.
Yep.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no. Yeah, I've got a lot to do in that little amount of time, and I'm 12 points behind you.
You can do it.
Let's hope so. I mean, you probably don't hope so, but I hope so.
Okay, so when it comes to the backer kit and the promo cards, which games would you be most excited to see promo cards made for?
Oh, that's a good question. I think making them or having them made for Fire in the Library is cool, just because, like, depending on the game, the cards can do more or less, more or fewer things. Um, Fire in the Library's cards are the tools which that you do special things on a turn. So you could come up with all kinds of awesome things, or like, if other people are making these things, it'd be cool to kind of do like wild things during a turn. I really think I like the idea of studies in sorcery though the most, getting getting promo cards made for it, because I really like engine building games, and that one is one. You get to come up with like classes basically, or like I forget what they call them, like, not a thesis, but basically like a project. The projects, like school projects, you're getting through basically, and then each of them either does different things or it gives you points in the game. I really like the idea of having like some really wacky projects, like maybe like the kinds of things you would do when you're not actually in class, or like when you're taking like that really easy elective just so you can like uh, have an easy time. So like it would just be something more fun and chill than it would be like something super useful. I think those would be fun to see what people would come up with for it. What about you? What game would you want promos for?
There's a couple of them that I think would be fun for. Stellar Leap has a lot of interesting twists and dynamics to it in the cards that you turn over, and have challenges that you kind of have to overcome throughout. I do think that it would be kind of game changing to have a few more cards that threw a little bit of a twist out there. And then I like the thought of doing some different songs for Big Easy Busking.
Oh, that would be really cool. You're right. I didn't think about that.
I like the cards that they currently have and some of the powers that they have in them, and how much they do change the game. So it's fun having those bonus cards that really kind of turn things that you expect on their head. You get used to playing a game quite a few times and playing it over and it being a certain type of situation happening. So that's why I like add-ons and expansions and stuff, making a game fresh. It's fun to have, just a little bonus card that also does that. It comes up and like, oh no, this totally different thing is happening and it's changed our game.
That's cool. I like that. I really like that about promo cards too. In fact, I thought that was one of the neat things when Carla had said that when somebody asked about promo cards, she basically said that the cool thing about promo cards is that they can be absolutely, completely unbalanced and just like the most ridiculous thing matter. So I threw an idea out there. Annette is somebody who has been really supportive in the Weird Giraffe Games campaigns and stuff, and she shows up. She even asks for me now, like I'm going to be part of a campaign, like with the customer service side of stuff.
She's so sweet.
She is. She's awesome. And she was talking a little bit about the promo cards, and I was like, you should totally make one. And then, like, she said she really wanted one of Space Dinos, so I was kind of asking her, trying to prompt her to actually make her own. And I just came up with this really wild, like, what if Space Dinos were the ones that saw the Dreams of Tomorrow, which is another game from Weird Giraffe Games. Basically, in that game, some kind of terrible future, either, I don't know if it is happening or has happened, but basically the only way to stop it is to send these thoughts to the past, these dreams from tomorrow, the dreams of tomorrow. And then people in the past can resolve it and fix it. So what if the space dinos, because like when you send like TV signals or whatever out, like it goes into space too. So what if the space dinos also saw these signals? They went to the past themselves to fix it. And the reason the bad future is happening is because of the fire in the library. So they'd be added to, it'd become like this new game where you play both explosion and fire together. The two games that are running on Battlecare right now, the reprint of Fire in the Library and then the actual release of Explosion Laboratory. We play both of them, and then what happens in Explosion alters what happens in Fire in the Library. So basically the idea would be that like both of those things are inevitable, but if you're able to save the right books, the right knowledge before the fire completely took everything over, then that's how you would win, because you would be saving the future.
That's so epic that you tied those together.
Oh, thank you. And it's just really neat that you can just do that. And especially since like I'm not Carla, like I can come up with a lot of stuff like that. And then if she's just like, that's a little too much, then that's cool. It was fun to come up with, like whatever. And it's just cool. So
yeah, one of the I think Chelsea had even said that sounds like a mini expansion to me. So it's like, yes, that would be fun.
Yeah. I would be all for it. I will never turn down any of our ideas, becoming anything more than just ideas. But
yes,
at the same time, it is just really fun. And
just coming up with silly things.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like most about Quirky Birds is, half of the time when we're creating stuff, we come up with 20 other ideas that we'll do later. And, we have a huge document full of half ideas that, we'll be working on later. But, or we'll come up with part of something and it's like, okay, we don't quite have the mechanics for this yet, so we'll set it aside, But this is wild and I can't wait to make it something, so it's just great having, a group of creative minds being able to spitball really silly things and then wrangle them into something that's actually a cohesive and fun experience for people to play. At least I hope it would be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Most of those are just things that we can do in like a day or even a few hours or, at most like a few days or something. And so even if what we come up with like just sits there and gets like 6 downloads for all of eternity, it's like, hey, it was cool. It's still a fun thing to do.
And we got our idea out there that we wanted, So.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like when you just have the wrong answer in your head and you have to spit it out before you can get past it. Like now I can remember the actual answer. Like It's the same thing with the game ideas. Like you just kind of throw it out there and, really the only time you've wasted is making the document look any kind of good or putting the background and stuff on the document.
And I love that, on Itch that they have those comment sections and you get to see people really get your idea and hey, this was wonderful. What a great spin on this. And, it's just cool when people get it and that you get to hear back that I even had someone email us and was saying that they were buying a game of ours in Japan to send to someone in Europe. And it's just mind blowing to think that something we made was, kind of traveling around the world a little bit. It's just.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't
that isn't in our neck of the woods at all. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't have to deal with any of the fulfillment. We don't have to deal with production on anything. Just you just throw it on a website and then boom.
And they print it out.
Yeah, people, I remember we're talking about Itch at one point, they were complaining that I guess Itch had a thing where if you don't withdraw the money that you've earned after it was 2 or 3 years or something, then that money disappears. And Leaf, the guy, the person that runs Itch, was that's so that you get your money out because we're not a bank, and if you have your money there any longer than that, we have to technically consider ourselves a bank. And if you don't want that, you just literally click a button and you get your money.
We want to give it to you. Take your money.
In what world is this a horrible deal breaker that oh no, you don't hold on to the money forever. But it's just really cool that a website like Itch even exists, where literally anybody can just throw something up there, and you don't even have to do anything special with it. You can just like upload the document. You have to make yeah, I mean, obviously you have to have the game itself. You have to have a little image for like what people see before they click on it, and then there's a little tiny description you write for it, and then just a little tiny bit of description on the page, and that's it. You can be really fancy and make, you know, like a background and all that stuff if you want to. You can just skip all that and just leave it text. Like, you're really good at making those.
Sorry.
Pages. I'm just saying you're really good at making the pages for them.
Oh, it's fun. But I had seen in a jam where someone even just wrote a text out, and you use a deck of cards for their game. And their idea was cute, and it'd be fun to play, but everybody has a deck of cards around. And, you know, you can access that file. You don't even have to print out the rules. You can read it right off of your computer. And so it really makes it accessible to everyone to be able to be able to play new games and also post them, you know, getting your ideas out there. So I think that that's really cool. Some people just offer their ideas for free, or you can donate $1, or, you know, people charge up to, you know, 20 or 30 for something, depending on what it is. So there's just something for everybody there. And I love that it doesn't inhibit anybody from putting their idea out.
Yeah, exactly. It's great like that. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think that's one of the reasons that Quirky Bird even exists now, is because these games, a lot of times, especially the ones that we're making, obviously there are RPGs and tabletop games that are print and play that take as long to make as like any kind of production of any sort. But the ones we make for the most part are, like we've said, things that take like a day or two, maybe a week, or, I mean, at most, you know, like, kind of iterating on something over the course of like a month, but you're not working on it every day or anything. There's a lot less play testing with these games. You just kind of have to make sure that they work, and then that they're fun, and kind of like, you know, you hone in on that a little bit, but it's not like you have to worry about every single card being precise or anything. So
yeah, I think we play test our card games more than we do the like one page things, but
yeah.
Those need a little bit more balance, and I think that we want to put a little bit more effort into our cards, because you are printing those up, you're cutting them out, you're sleeving them, you know, so it takes a little bit more effort to actually get in there and play a card game than it does to print out a sheet or read it on the computer. So we really want to make sure those are balanced before we put them out there.
Very true. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that would, like you said, you put a lot more effort in it, because like you said, a lot of them, even you just you can look at the document on your computer or your phone, and then you have like a piece of paper that you write on, or like a deck of cards or some dice, and then that's it. It's just really weird and wild how that works out.
As someone in one of our Discords even had a game that they made that went on your lock screen of your phone. Quite creative. He also does games that fit in a tweet, and then he'll put them on business cards. Really think that that's cool. Like, so many creative people.
His name is Chris. I'm trying to remember what his last name is. I think he just goes by his full name. Junk Food Games. It's Chris. But Junk Food Games.
Yes, that's it.
Goes by. And yeah, I agree. I think that he's really creative about that. I think he got into that back during there was like a tweet game jam, like where everybody just made a game in a tweet. And then ever since then, he's been like cranking those out, and they're really cool. Like there's one called Cool Ranch Burritos, and it's literally just like different emojis. So like you're cool and you're on a ranch, and then like, you know, those have different symbols, and like you actually like eat a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos while you're playing it, and it's just wild that fits in a tweet.
It is. It's really creative and funny too. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that that's how we got into zines and making those, was a game jam. So it's fun to go into the challenges and come out with, you know, something that we hadn't used before, and it be something that we really connect with it and make several of. We even had a little sale where we sold our zines, and we had a bundle, and we got to mail those out, and they went, you know, from one end of our country to another. So that was really cool. We mailed one set of them up to Canada. So those went everywhere, and it's fun seeing people tweet out that they got them, and, you know, that our zines went to, you know, another little part of the world. And out of our hands. It's like, oh, we get to see them in the wilds.
Yeah, and it's really cool because I feel like one of the really cool things about tabletop games is that they're physical. You know, like you actually get this like tactile thing you're playing with, and the one like kind of sad thing about making these TTRPGs and stuff is that you know they're like just documents, so you don't even have a physical thing, or if you do, it's just like some
A
paper.
printed piece of paper,
Yeah.
right?
So having that zine, like the first time you folded one and had it together, I was like, oh wow, this is actually really cool. It's like literally like a book. I can see why people really got into zines, and like you know why Zine Quest happens every year or whatever. It's just because it's a very different experience, even though it's still literally one piece of paper, or you know like a handful of pieces of paper, whatever, like you know that get like stapled together. But for the most part, it's just a like one piece of paper folded a couple times.
And do a
it
little
becomes
booklet.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
Like,
cool.
Yeah. I think somebody just tweeted today about your Look a Squirrel.
Really?
And yeah. I've been staying off Twitter, so I didn't really look at it, but like I did see
No
that it was
worries.
there. And it's just really cool because that's one that actually I have in my like my little like phone case purse. It's a game that you talk about it. You made it. Like,
What is
yeah,
Look a
what
Squirrel?
is Look a Squirrel? Yeah.
Okay, so we were taking a walk one day, and got to discussing, you know, that Beth walks in one path, you know, usually, and we do this one route. And when I walk, I kind of go here and there. And she said she just likes to go on one route because then she doesn't have to make any decisions. And I just looked at her like she was crazy. Like, what do you mean make decisions? And she said, well, how do you go where you're going then? And I said, well, it's kind of like, look, a squirrel, I just follow whatever interests me and, go wherever that takes me. So if I find a tree interesting, I'll walk toward that tree and look at the tree. Or if I find, a noise like a bird, that I can hear chirping and I want to hear it closer, I'll go closer to that noise. So it's not that I'm making a decision, I'm allowing the environment to make decisions for me, and then you eventually loop back around to where you started. So Look a Squirrel kind of does that for you. It's a kind of a scavenger hunt game where you have a list of items that are likely to be found in a town, or if even you're walking in the woods or in the city, there's a mix of things on the page, like a grill or, leaves or, a squirrel, a cat, a dog, just different things. So what you're doing is you're looking to locate one of these things on each of the pages and make your way through the booklet. As you find them, the item tells you which direction to go. So you find a cat and it says go left. So the next street that you can turn left, you turn left. And it also advises you, of course, don't walk through people's yards or through a business, but it then ends on the booklet and it says, great, you've let something else make the decision for you. Where have you ended up? And asks that people take a picture and post it with a hashtag if you want to. And check out the hashtag on social media to see where other people have ended up and where it took you. The first time that we tested the game out, we went for a walk and we ended up in a neighborhood that we actually in our little town hadn't walked back to. So it was kind of cool that it led us to a different place than we normally go. And in doing so, I went to take a picture of a really cute lawn ornament in someone's house. And this woman ran out in her bra and yelled at us saying, hey, are you taking a picture of my house? And, just flabbergasted. And I said, no, ma'am, I thought your lawn ornament was really cute. I was honestly just taking a picture of your little owl. And she's like, oh, okay. And she was fine with it, but it really caused an awkward moment. But, so be careful what you're taking pictures of. People don't take kindly to you aiming a camera toward their home. So,
yeah, exactly.
So lesson learned. But that's Look a Squirrel.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I have it pulled up on the screen that I'm sharing here, but you'll notice here that it says Look a Squirrel physical copy mailed, U.S. only. And basically, it's $2 more than whatever the regular price is for each of our zine games. Otherwise, like if they go on sale, then this automatically goes on sale too. But generally, yeah, so $4. That includes shipping. Just if you do it, make sure you click the get for $4 because it'll actually ask you for your address, and then we don't have to worry about like if I emailed you and then like the email doesn't come through or you're like what the heck is this? Like you can throw it away. Like so that way like we can actually just mail it to you.
Yeah, and you get the digital copy and the physical copy then, so you can print it out or look at it before the copy's mailed to you. But it's just kind of fun to have something show up in the mail, even if you want to send it to somebody else, because then you get the digital copy and then you can mail the physical copy as a present to someone. So yeah. It's just a fun option that way too.
Yeah, and we have on here, I think, yeah, Angel, you found this, the how to make a zine from a piece of paper.
Yes.
So we have that video on each of them. You can very easily, if you just get the digital one, so like if you're not in the US or, it's $2, instead of $4, or like when it goes on sale, even less. But if you just use that video, it's like, I don't know, like 2 minutes or something. You literally just have to fold the zine like once the one way, and then like it shows you how to fold the inner parts so that it's just right. But I mean, you can just fold it on your own, and then you've got like an 8-page zine out of it. It's just like we would make and send to you, except that you don't have to cut and fold it yourself. Because like especially in our case, like the printer doesn't go all the way to the edge. You have to cut the little tiny bit around the edge out, and then there's one cut in the middle to make it fold properly. But again, that video totally shows you how to do it, and it's super easy. That's one of the really amazing things about zines.
We'll have to do a make your own, like where people fill in the blank or something at one point so that we can send it to them and then they can, kind of use a marker or crayons and color in or make the zine their own story. That would be fun.
That would be really cool, yeah. Yeah.
Like comic beans or...
Yeah, that would be neat. We'll have to like do some kind of stream at some point where we like make a zine, kind of like I made the game where they have to make a zine on stream,
yes.
And then like actually cut it out and stuff too, so you could actually see the like physical result of it again. And I hope that something like that would really show people just how easy they are. Like this video right here or other videos like it.
Oh yeah.
Like they show you like I think the whole video is probably a few minutes long, but they show you like
step by step.
This page and this page, in this order, and then like this is what it looks like in the end. So like a lot of people when they make zines, they don't actually digitally make them. They just write it by hand. Or if they do make it digitally, they actually like will, like we were talking the other day about like doing one for fall, and you would take like a leaf or whatever, and like just like you kind of like
scan it on there,
yeah, and then you scan it in, and then so like it's a digital thing that can be reprinted, but it's it's still
also crafted, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's really neat about a lot of the zines. Like, you don't have to be games. You can just do a zine. Like that one, as an example, is a shoe zine. So it's like, things like about different shoes. There's ones that are like random facts about things, or even just like made up information, or what, like just all kinds of silly stuff that you can do everything. So
yeah, I'd love to see more people making zines. It's fun seeing people be creative and inspired by what other people make. So
yeah, and it's really cool too because it's kind of like the you just like see it and you can play it on the screen, but it's only one piece of paper to print. So as long as you have a printer that can print out like a single page or whatever, some of them are kind of ink heavy, but we try to make ours like even if there isn't one, like we try to make a not so ink heavy one. I don't think we've done that yet on the zines yet. But,
well, and like a squirrel, I love fall colors, so I'm like, I'm not taking it easy on the ink here. I'm just going to fall this up. I love it.
Yeah,
like it was just turning to fall. It's my favorite season. I'm like, this is just going to be all the fall.
Yeah, and sometimes like you just have to stick to that artistic, decision anyway. But as long as you can do that, like you literally just 5 minutes after you downloaded or bought it or whatever, like you have this thing that's physical in front of you, and you can just play it or read it or experience it however it's meant to be experienced. So it's really cool. But it's a little after 9. I guess we should probably call it a night here.
Probably.
But, that's the weird thing. Normally we have like Carla on here or Justin or Chelsea, and
they're like, yawn.
One of them will be like, well, yeah, exactly. Even though I think we're ahead of them time zone wise, like they're the ones that are like, it's late. So yeah, we're just used to somebody else being like, oh, it's time to go, and it's like, oh yeah. So, but yeah, we're gonna go and call it.
We'd just be talking everybody's ear off for the rest of the night.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, I guess really that sounds like that's basically what Twitches anyways. Like, you just chill, and like if somebody wants to come by and listen to you talk, then they do, and that's cool.
Yes.
And if not, that's also cool because, like, I mean, like I said, I'm not someone who talks much, so this kind of encourages me to talk more. So like Angel and I actually get to talk quite a bit now, and I've been working a lot lately. So she, but when I work, I usually throw music on, and like I can't really hear her. So like then she's got to feel bad about talking to me and quote unquote interrupting, which sometimes like I get so sucked in that it does feel like interrupting. But you know what I mean? Like 5 minutes late, I'm just like, you didn't interrupt me. You're fine. I'm happy you did. But so it's nice to actually have an excuse to just talk here anyway. So
yes,
it is nice anyway. But yeah, we're totally gonna get out of here. If you do happen to be watching this and you made it all the way here, like, congratulations, way to go on that. But we will be back next Monday. I think you said that Justin picked the game.
Yes, if you give me just a minute, I can go find the name of that one. It is on VGA, and it has to do with trains. Railroad Inc.
Okay, cool.
Yes, that's up to 12 players, so hopefully we can get some people to join in, because our game group consists of Beth and I, and we really enjoy when people swing by and we can play with several, because we don't end up having big game groups, and it's fun being able to play with other people.
Absolutely.
After that, I think the next episode we're going to be doing Cartographer's Heroes, and Justin is going to set that up for us and show us how to play.
Yeah. He we played Cartographers with him like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago now. But he actually, since that one's not on VGA, he actually sets it up on another screen. He actually has the cards laid out and everything so that everybody can play along.
He's so good at demoing games. It just is like
he is, yeah.
And I loved the tips that he gave us last time on some of the strategy for cartographers, and I learned a lot. So I'm looking forward to seeing another iteration of that game.
Oh yeah, too. That's true. And we can. Wow, that's a bit echo. Oh yeah, true. That is. But yeah, we can also put that experience behind it, into that as well.
Yes.
See if we can do better this time.
Maybe I'll
did
pull
really
some...
well anyway. But...
Maybe I'll pull some colored pencils out this time, like Justin had. I was like, oh, that's actually really nifty.
That would be cool. I like that idea because then I don't have to feel stressed about
drawing the doodles.
I have my laptop. Actually, I don't even know if that lifted up in the screen or not, but I actually have my laptop in front of me here. And I have to write on it, and so I don't want to accidentally push too hard and break it because I'd be in real trouble. So having colored markers instead of drawing very just
we can get you our clipboard so you can draw on there.
Yeah, that's true too. I could always clipboard it out. But yeah, that sounds cool. I think markers sound good.
Okay, and we threatened to go, so we probably should.
Yeah, exactly.
We're doing the Midwest goodbye right now. We're just standing in the doorway and saying goodbye to y'all, but we're not really leaving.
Right, except since it's not in real life, we're not letting all the flies in.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's fair to say. So have a good night, everybody.